Hi, I'm Dr. Chukwudi, and in the wake of the recent suicide deaths by young promising Nigerians, I'd like to share some insights which I hope would help to nip this trend in the bud. Very recently, we lost a medical student because he failed an exam. And if you go on Facebook, you'll be amazed at people's comments. In fact, I looked at some comments and people went against him. They called him various names. They said he was a fool. Some said he doesn't know how to endure. He lacked this, he lacked that. And while I understand the pain and the frustration and the doubts and the fears of various people, I'd like us to know that there are things, if we understood, could help to reduce what's happening. Firstly, I'd like everybody to know that you're important, all right? Maybe just you listening to me, you're very important and your life is sacred. In fact, all human life is sacred. I'm not saying this because I'm a doctor, that's my training, but if you look deep down, you will understand that your life is sacred. Yes, you. I'm not talking to the whole world, it's just you, okay? And if we can be more socially improved, it could help with this trend. Firstly, there are a few things that I've been able to pen down as strategies or key aspects that if we understand them, it will help us. But before I continue, I'd like to beg you, yes, you, to give me about 5 to 10 minutes of your time. I understand it's a long video, but it may help. And I'd like you to share it, make it viral, not necessarily because it's my face, but what it will do in the lives of people. Identify yourself. This is the most important. Know who you are. Know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Are you the type that can withstand stress? If you lose all your money today, would you be able to survive? Do you think something is not right with you? All right, some of us actually feel it. We know that, look, I'm not as normal as the next person. I have a lot of inhibitions, or I kind of act brashly. But it's not just for individuals. Sometimes as a group of people, you should look into other people's cases, especially for Christians. Remember what the Bible says. We should not just think about ourselves. Look about other people's cases in Philippians chapter 2, verse 4. So identify people in your church who is quiet. Quiet people are different from those who are vocal, those who are bold, those who are courageous. Not all of us are entrepreneurs. Not all of us can do a very good job working for another person. We are all different, but understand that we are unique. So the first thing is identify yourself, know yourself. Secondly, identify the problem. All right, before people commit suicide, there must be a problem. It's compulsory. It doesn't just happen. There is or there was a problem. All right, for some people, it's multifactorial, a lot of things coming together to make them reach that decision that, look, my life is helpless, it's hopeless. But identifying the problem and having an idea what the problem is very important. And I'll add to that, in addition, try to identify the problem with other people, not just yourself. Thirdly, come up with a solution. All right, here I'm going to explain to us a couple of things very quickly. Number one is strategize. Let's say, for example, I failed an exam, just as the kid failed the MBBS. If you're able to say to yourself that, look, failing an exam doesn't mean the end of the world, even if this is the 5th time. Rather than rushing to pick a form for the next exam, I think you should pause. Ask yourself, why did I fail this exam 5 times or 2 times or just once, whatever? And, ask a lot of questions, develop a plan. It may be for exam or to get out of poverty or shame. It doesn't really matter. Make a strategy. Maybe you need to cut off some friends, people that mock you a lot. Maybe you need to go away from home where your parents tell you that you're a nobody. Maybe you need to stop attending that church or that gathering. The most important is strategize. Part of your strategy should be having a good social network. Let me tell you the truth. When you have people that you can trust, people that can tell you the truth, people that can help you when you're in pains, you're more likely to live a better life than if you're alone. Please don't get me wrong. There is nothing bad about progress. There is nothing bad about achievements. However, try to form real connections with human beings, not just computers via LinkedIn and Facebook. You need someone you can go to their house when you're in distress and say, look, I want to pass the weekend in your house to clear my head. I just failed a major exam, or my boyfriend just left me, or my wife has gone away, or something. You need to form good social networks. So it's the social stuff, it's strategizing. But for everything, strategize. Now let me stitch this up a bit with my story. All right, so I started with identify yourself, know who you are, identify the problem, come up with a solution, and for the solution, form a strategy, and importantly, have good, very, very good social network. Now, by nature, I'm a very sensitive person, very sensitive. And I was born into a middle-class home where my parents had extremely high expectations of us. That means I grew up focusing more on academics. Yes, I'm brilliant. I was the best graduate in my school. I've done very well. Exams is nothing to me. But I had a poor social life. People saw me as awkward. People made a lot of jokes about me. It was not very easy having true friends, people that smiled with you in front and smiled with you behind. And this made me feel very depressed. Now, I returned to Nigeria with the aim of serving my people. I had passion in my soul and say, look, my intelligence shouldn't only be for the white man. Let me give something back to the community. And I just came back home passionately. No proper strategy. I had a strategy though, but it wasn't a proper one. And I began to experience financial lack. But in 2017, I was invited by one of the best schools, institutions, medical institutions in Israel, for an interview in neurosurgery. I've always wanted to be a neurosurgeon. And unfortunately, it didn't pull through. I was sent back home, meaning I was deported from the border of Israel. And that's where I sank into depression. All right. Prior to that, the person I had agreed to get married to left me for no obvious reason. So you can imagine what my life looked like. An awkward person, someone no lady wanted to say yes to. One lady eventually says yes. All of a sudden she says no a year later. Then you lose an opportunity for your big break. I was a mess, a complete mess. Did I contemplate suicide? Yes, I did. I did contemplate suicide, but not so seriously. However, there was suicidal ideation, meaning I thought about it. Okay, but what helped me is I have a friend, and I went to his house, didn't tell him about my situation, just stayed around him, and he's a progressive, he wants to move forward. He told me, Chukwudi, why don't you try this PLAB thing? And I've never given PLAB good thoughts, but I said, let me try it. And the IELTS exam, everything, I passed with the little money I had, and that was it. After my PLAB 1, exam is not a problem for me. I passed all of them at one sitting, but money was the problem. I didn't just know how to make money. So when I say identify yourself, know yourself, I know I'm a sensitive person, I know I'm intelligent, I also know I'm kind, I know I'm awkward, I know I don't dress so well. A lot of things combined, okay? But it's not a limitation, all right? And I decided to say, okay, money is my problem, so what do I do to get money? That's what I've been working on, and today I've paid for my PLAB 2, I'm making some progress, and I say to myself that life must progress. As for the lady stuff, very recently, another lady I found said no. Why? We're both AS. And because of that, I say to myself, I'm an intelligent person, so I think this AS, this sickle cell thing requires a definitive management, And currently I'm applying for different masters in translation medicine with the primary aim of putting an end to this problem. Some of us may not know, but in the past, rhesus factor was a bigger problem. When you're rhesus negative as a woman and your husband is rhesus positive, it's worse than sickle cell disease. Because after your first child, you may likely never have another child that is alive. But somebody came up with a solution, and today it's not even a problem. No marriage committee will ask you must bring your certificate with a rhesus factor on it. All right? And I sincerely believe that sickle cell disease can have a cure or a proper management such that people can love again, and those are in pain can come out of it. So instead of getting depressed that somebody I truly love said no to me, I have transformed that energy into something that can benefit all of mankind. I'm not saying to you that you are totally wrong for contemplating suicide. I have contemplated suicide, honestly. I have failed, I have suffered, I have been mocked, people have given me different names. At some point sincerely felt I was ugly. All right, very ugly, so I don't even bother females. I don't want to expose my ugliness to them, But today I'm changing my minds little by little. Most of those people that say those stuff to me, I avoid them. Not because I can't face my greatest fears, but I feel at that early point, I needed to stay around positive people. Over time, things will be better. I want to encourage you to have the right mentality. In other words, the right attitude towards life. I'm not saying everything is your fault, because at this point, I would like the audience to know that there are some humans that suffer from personality disorders, such as borderline personality disorders. They don't have much control over that suicidal action. It's beyond getting angry with them on Facebook, saying a lot of bad stuff to them, telling your pastor to go and talk to them, shouting at them. It's beyond their control. That's why it's a personality disorder. Also, others with severe depression, they can't do much. They may need drugs, they may need consultation with a psychiatrist. I like to encourage you, no matter what it is, it starts from you. And for the community, please be kind to people. I like us to do something that hasn't been done before. In a couple of days, June will be introduced to the world. Let us make June the month of kindness and positivity. Kindness and positivity. Be kind to people. It's a month where you say to yourself, I'm going to train one child that doesn't have an opportunity to go to school. I'm going to look out for that person in my church that I know is suffering and probably help the person with, it doesn't matter, 10,000 naira, it doesn't matter. I'll try to avoid negative words on Facebook or the social media, words such as fool, stupid, and all of that. I'm going to avoid them. Social media, WhatsApp groups, whatever. I'll try to call people I've never called before, send text messages to people, probably something nice to someone, encourage somebody, you don't know what they're going through, all right? Let's make the month of June of kindness and positivity. No matter what it is, look out for some people. There are some, like I say, that require medical help. There are others that just need some clinical psychologists and kind people around them, and they will live longer. It's my dream that in the month of June every year, the world statistics for kidnapping, rape, suicide, admissions due to depression, failure would reduce. And I say it again, the world statistics for these. It's my dream and I need you, yes, you that want to commit suicide today, to take that noose off your neck, to keep that sniper on the table or shelve it somewhere and say, look, I'm going to tell my friends, I'm going to put a hashtag and say June is the month for kindness and positivity. I need you, you need me. Let's stay alive. Thank you.